Have you ever wondered what it's like to cook in a dimension where the ingredients are as elusive as the monsters lurking in the shadows? Join me as we dive into the deliciously dangerous lore of Scary Sushi Chapter 2, where every recipe could be your last. We left off in Chapter 1, narrowly escaping Kimura and being transported to the void, and we appear to be in a floating kitchen of sorts. It is here where we meet the main antagonist of Chapter 2, Kyoku. Kyoku is the dark presence of the void, with an ever-growing hunger. We are informed that we will have to travel through multiple dimensions of the void to get the ingredients for the sushi we will be preparing for Kyoku, more on those later. Much like Flame, Kyoku will eat you if you turn in an order late. This animation plays, and this death message appears upon being killed by him. Welcome to the ruins. This is the first dimension of the void, where we meet Peekaboo. He is guarding the night grains and ghost leaves, which are the void equivalent to rice and nori. Some notable features about this realm is that it isn't all in one piece, instead we have to jump on platforms to get where we need to go. If you walk while in Peekaboo's light, he will fly you up to his mouth, and eat you. This animation plays, and this death message appears upon being killed by him. We now travel to the Forgotten Forest, where our next ingredient, flicker wings, are located. Kyoku informs us that each color of flicker wing has a different flavor, with there being 4 colors: red, blue, green, and yellow. It is clear that the void is trying to mimic the premise of Chapter 1, where it increasingly adds ingredients to the list. Myra is the one roaming the Forgotten Forest. Some notable features of Myra is the tall, insect-like body, and the glowing eyes. To escape with the flicker wings, and your life, you must stay out of Myra's sight, and if you are seen, you better hope you are close to the temple, or you are as good as dead. This animation plays, and this death message appears upon being killed by Myra. The third dimension of the void is the deep. According to Kyoku, the creatures residing in the deep are the finest sea creatures of the void. Like the first 2 dimensions, there's a creature lurking in the shadows, waiting to eat us. This would be none other than Finn. His body somewhat resembles the anglerfish as seen in Chapter 1. Finn could possibly be a juvenile version of the anglerfish that we see in Chapter 1, and they don't get their lights until they become adults. Another notable feature is that Finn is much larger than the other fish. The wildlife that live in the deep are as follows: blue glowing fish, jellyfish, and clams. While we are in the deep, it appears that Finn does not eat the wildlife in his domain, leading me to believe that he is on a strict human diet. This animation plays, and this death message appears upon being killed by him. The last dimension on our perilous journey through the void is the ancient jungle. Kyoku informs us that the creatures who live here have the most delicious eyeballs, and if we succeed, we will become his chef forever. Upon entering the last portal, we are brought to another section of the void, but with a giant TV screen. The Night Keepers are back to save us from the void, and to give us some backstory on how creatures like Norman came to be. I would like to take a moment to answer a question on my other Scary Sushi lore video. We now know from the Night Keepers that the void entities we see in Chapter 1 are mutated creatures that they sent to be contained in the void, that somehow got into the Moonlight Sushi restaurant, so this is most likely how the triplets also came to be. When we enter a pathway given to us by the Night Keepers, they explain how they sent creatures to the void to contain there, but something was off. There was a dark hungry presence lurking. He had to be stopped, so they found a fungus that could destroy him. What was this dark hungry presence? None other than Kyoku. Once we arrive in the tunnels, we have to face creatures named slugs. Some noticeable features are the singular red eye, and, judging by the name, a slug-like body. Once we get past the horde of slugs, we go to this plant to get a fungus spore to put in our dishes, in which we will feed to Kyoku. It is also worth noting that this fungus is served raw. The Night Keepers tell us that this fungus is capable of eating Kyoku from the inside, which is going to help us escape. Now that we've come this far, it's time for us to make our escape. After eating the fungus, Kyoku begins to be eaten from the inside, causing the void to collapse in on itself. This confirms what the Night Keepers said about Kyoku being the dark presence of the void, as he is the void himself. Without Kyoku, there is no void. The Night Keepers tell us that we will have to travel through multiple dimensions to escape to their outpost. A chase then ensues, where we have to escape all the creatures we have previously seen. We are then left on a cliffhanger, where we land on the Night Keepers outpost, and then the game ends. Do you think there will be a Scary Sushi Chapter 3? Leave your comment below, and consider subscribing if you want more content like this.